you're wanting to know what sublimation printing is and how to get started, then you're going to want to watch this video. Stay tuned. Hey, what is going on? The Printer Guy here. And in this video, I wanted to talk to you about what is sublimation printing. You may have heard online about sublimation printing. You may have seen some different designs that have been printed with sublimation printing, with the sublimation process, and you're wondering what is sublimation printing and how would you do it if you wanted to get into sublimation printing. If this video ends up being helpful, please make sure to like the video. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Now, sublimation printing is the process by which heat is used to transfer dye-based ink, sublimation ink, onto materials like a t-shirt, polyester fabric, ceramic, coated metal, and there's so many other different pieces of media that you could use that are compatible with sublimation ink. For example, one really specific one would be a puzzle piece. So you could sublimate onto a sublimation compatible puzzle pieces that are all in one square, and whatever you sublimate on there will become the puzzle. So when you have your design, you're placing it over maybe a t-shirt or a metal sign, like in my case with some of the designs that I've done recently. And when heated, that dye turns into gas and there's a transfer that happens onto the surface. And once that paper that has the sublimation design printed on it is removed, it actually stays on the media that you sublimated onto. So that is the easiest way for me to explain what sublimation printing is in a nutshell. There's a lot more that goes into it as far as softwares, designs, heat presses, the printer that you would need to use to sublimate. Basically, how that works is there are some printers that are made specifically for sublimation printing, but there are, for example, Epson EcoTank printers that can be converted into sublimation printers. And all you would need to sublimate is sublimation ink. And this is dye-based sublimation ink. Of course, there's pigmented ink, and there's specific printers that use pigmented ink. But this would be a dye-based, particularly a bottle-based printer that could be converted or initially could be set up as a sublimation printer. I recently used the Epson EcoTank 2400 model. This is an excellent entry-level sublimation printer. It's going to be under $200. I'm going to be linking that printer down in the description below, along with the sublimation ink that I ended up using for some of my recent projects. So back to one of the aspects of sublimation printing, one of the things you'll need is sublimation paper. And you need to get the right type of sublimation paper for the type of materials that you're going to be printing on or sublimating onto. You also need to understand how to use some of the programs within, whether you're using a Mac computer or Windows. There are some different things that you can do to get a design. Working backwards, you also need the design itself. You may have a design, or maybe it's a family photo, and that would be something you already have on hand, but you may want to find a design online, and there are several different websites that do provide some different designs like that. And I'll be linking those in the description below. Once you have your design, you're going to take it into your program, or take it into your print view if you're using Mac like I did, and you're going to begin to work with that design, and you could even size it to be the right size that you want when you're actually sublimating. There's a way for you to test the different sizes. That's what I've done. I have a video on my channel showing you how to do that. So why would someone want to sublimate onto a t-shirt or sublimate onto let's say a tumbler or a metal sign? Well, for some, it's really the customization. So for example, for me, I made a t-shirt for one of my kids, and that is something that was custom. It was a design that we could not find at the store, and so it's very easy to sublimate onto a t-shirt for a younger child and have that design be the right size and everything like that. And the cost of doing that was very low when it came to the actual paper used, the ink used, and the actual t-shirts that I sublimated onto. So some people just want customization. Maybe someone that is crafting and maybe wants to put a family portrait onto a metal sign and then hang that up somewhere, or maybe on a t-shirt. But then there's others that use sublimation for business. So it could be that you start a sublimation t-shirt business, a sublimation metal sign business, where you take in orders and you take in custom designs from customers, and then you're able to sublimate onto those materials, onto a t-shirt maybe, for example, and then ship that out to the customer. So there's the business side, and then there's the crafting, personalized side where you're just using it for yourself, maybe doing some different designs. Maybe that can be interchangeable as well, maybe business and personal. Some other materials that you can sublimate onto: mugs, phone cases, mouse pads, aluminum photo panels. So this really does expand to a lot of different ways that you can sublimate or create custom designs on some different types of materials. One really important piece of information with t-shirts, which is one of the most common materials that is sublimated onto, you don't want to use fully cotton shirts. You do want there to be at least a polyester blend or some polyester fabric. I'm going to be linking down in the description below, because on Amazon there are companies that sell specific t-shirts for sublimation printing, and that is really the best way to go. All right, so some of the pros and cons of sublimation printing is you have super vibrant colors, no cracking or peeling. It's great for full color designs and photos. Some of the cons is it only works on light colored polyester rich material. You do require some specific materials like the printer that I spoke of, the Epson EcoTank 2400. That's an entry level, but that's not the only printer. There are so many other Epson EcoTank and other types of printers that can be used for sublimation printing. You need the special sublimation ink that's linked down in the description below, and you need a heat press. Now I got a heat press for just under $100, so you can really put together a setup, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about as well here in this video. Is I put together a setup of under $400, and that included the materials that I printed on. That was 3 different types of materials that were maybe about $20 each. So really, for the printer and the printer ink, I spent about $200, and then some of the other materials, with the heat press, that brought me up to $300, and then some other materials I needed along the way brought me up to just under $400. That is very much an entry level amount that you can spend to get into sublimation printing initially, and then you can start to upgrade from there if you'd like to upgrade. Really, the setup that I have right now, my $400 setup, is very simple, it's very easy, and it really has everything that I need for now. So that may be something that you may want to consider for yourself, is getting a very beginner's entry level setup for sublimation. And if you get more serious, you can then begin to upgrade, let's say, the heat press. There are heat presses that you could even find locally, of people selling heat presses that are a lot more advanced than the Cricut heat press that I have mentioned here in this video. That is also linked down in the description below. All the links that are down in the description below are affiliate links. The sublimation ink that is linked below is actually a Best Printers branded ink. So when you buy any Best Printers products, you do help support this channel. I do have other videos on this topic in regards to converting, for example, an Epson EcoTank printer from regular ink into sublimation ink, and some other topics around sublimation printing. So I really hope this video ended up being helpful. If it was, please make sure to like the video. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I handpicked 2 videos that are here on the screen for you to watch next. Also consider subscribing to this channel. There's so much helpful content for you if you're a printer owner, and it's just good to have a resource like this for you in the future, whether you're dealing with a printer that's not printing well or you need more printer recommendations. So I look forward to seeing you again in another video.